Here are some quote-unquote advanced Marvel Rivals tips that you should probably know. Subscribe if you're new, and well, let's get started. Now with Punisher, besides being a rather straightforward character, there's some things you should probably know about him. And one super important fact is that you actually never have to reload as Punisher. All you have to do is say the enemy's at a medium to close range, just switch from your primary to your shotgun, and the other weapon will be fully reloaded when you swap back. You can honestly cut out so much unnecessary time by swapping between the two weapons instead of reloading. No one has really ever mentioned this, and I'm not really sure why. But another thing you have to keep track of, it's not like instantly swapping between the two will instantly reload it. You have to swap, give it a couple seconds, and then swap back and it should be reloaded. At first I couldn't figure out why, as I was swapping between the two it wasn't instantly reloaded, but you just have to wait a little bit. Now Doctor Strange in my eyes is one of the most prominent characters in all of Marvel Rivals. He has a very high pick rate even from the lowest levels to the highest ranks. And hopefully by now we all know that he has a teleport ability. This teleportability allows you to perform some really easy flanks, and it combos very well with pretty much every single DPS character in the entire game. You can transport ultimates from point A to point B to unsuspecting players, like take for example Iron Man. Iron Man casts his ult into Doctor Strange's portal, then it just goes through the portal and hits the enemies in the back. Although characters in a ranked setting like Iron Man might be on the weaker side, if you have a Doctor Strange that knows what they're doing, you can pair these two fairly well together. It's something for whatever reason a lot of players tend to glance over or not give too much thought about. Now when it comes to Bucky, Winter Soldier, however you want to call him, this is some essential things you need to know about him. Firstly, it's a 3-shot magnum or pistol, whatever you want to call it, that explodes on impact. Of course, a critical shot or a headshot does more damage than a body shot. Now for Winter Soldier, the longer you charge up your hook, which is your secondary fire, which in most cases if you're on mouse and keyboard is your right click, the more charge, the longer the hook. Pretty self-explanatory. Now one essential combo you should know as Bucky or Winter Soldier is you hook someone in, move backwards, and then knock them up. So you hook them in, from there you want to move to the side of the character, so move around, because if you just hook them straight in, they go directly to you and you can't 180 punch them up. So in order to perform the 180 knock up into your team, you have to pull them in, walk to the side, and then knock them up. A lot of people don't mention that you have to walk to the side and assume that you can just instantly 180 them, but you actually have to kind of move a little bit. You need to understand the movement of this game. Following that, another essential tip is by landing, a couple shots, hitting your E, then going into your knockup can easily kill a squishy character. Following that, you don't need to have the character, killed by your ultimate to reset it. All you have to do is ulti on someone, see the little red indicator. As long as they get in that kill range and you're able to finish the damage, it will reset your ultimate for 6 seconds. Now something to note is that you have 8 seconds once you get the execution reset to execute someone again, but you can actually try to extend this timer by letting it go down to just about 1 second, then ulting, then performing your ultimate. This extends the timer just a little bit, and you can try to use the full potential of his ulti. See, the timer's going down, I still have it, and right when it's about to end, then I go for an ult. This allows me to get the guarantee that I'm going to land on an enemy player, so I have the potential to get a reset. This is something that a lot of people skip on or not really pay attention to, is that you want to get a guaranteed hit, even if it's not a insta execution or an insta kill. As long as you can get the reset, that's what makes Bucky super useful and super strong. Now when it comes to Adam Warlock's ultimate ability, I kind of messed up on this last time, so apologies for that. But when you ulti, the resurrection radius is not centered around his ultimate, it's actually centered around Adam Warlock himself. So depending on where you are and where you're moving to, you can res, fallen teammates. As you can see, I have the radius as I move, I get close, then they will get res. I move away, they won't get res, things like that. And of course, they're not getting full HP when they're res, so make sure to always heal them. Now, something that a lot of players miss when it comes to Jeff is we all know Jeff has his left click, which is the healing water hose, and his right click, which is the damaging ability. But he has actually infinite range. So you could relatively play Jeff from a very safe distance and you don't really have to worry about anything. Although it takes a little bit more time for the healing to travel to the person because it's a further distance, relatively you should be able to get the heals off in a safer area. So you don't necessarily have to go up with the team if you're playing Jeff, and you can relax in the back of the map, sipping your pina coladas and just healing your teammates as they go. Of course, the same thing applies with his right click or his alternate fire, which is the damaging AoE. And it's just something very useful to know that I see a lot of Jeff players making the mistake of playing super up close and with their team. The whole point of Jeff is to be sitting far in the back line, just healing his teammates from a distance, so he doesn't have to worry about, getting jumped on really or dying. But this super passive gameplay usually applies when there's no diving characters on the enemy team. Characters like Black Panther, Spider-Man, Psylocke, things like that. Now what I'm about to say might seem sacrilegious to players who play healers, but in Marvel Rivals, usually your priority is to heal the tank and not really worry about anything else. But if you're playing a character like Luna Snow or even Mantis, I recommend putting the healing idol or the healing totems or whatever the life shards. I highly encourage you, instead of actually placing them on your tank players, to actually go ahead and put it on your damaged characters or your characters that are going to be diving into the back line. Now usually the case goes that most of the time your tanks are always going to be in front of you, so you're always going to have like a perfect line of vision to them, allowing you to get quick and easy heals onto them. With that being said, typically you're not going to be seeing your dive DPS in front of you because you're going to be in the enemy's backline. So prioritizing your healing idol onto, dive characters is more beneficial to your team than you think. This allows you to get some quick and easy heals out to your DPS, so you don't have to divert too much attention away from your tanks in the front line. Even though it might sound kind of bad, it's actually just more beneficial. Now this next tip is something that I highly recommend you to do. If you're ever curious about what characters do, the amount of damage they output, or very specific information revolving around said character, then this is what you should probably do. So getting started, I want you to head over to the Marvel Rivals, official website. Here. From there, click Heroes, go to Heroes. As you can see, we have Adam Warlock selected. As you can see, we have Adam Warlock. You can see his base stats, his health is 250 with move speed of 6 meters a second. But you can also click on his normal attack and it will give you the casting, the damage fall off, fire rate, ammo, which I think is very useful to know depending on what character you're playing. And I recommend if you're maining a specific character, or you have a character you really like to play, then I recommend checking out their, damage, what they're all capable of doing, see why you're not doing as much damage as you thought you should be doing, things like that. This is all super useful information to know, and it's free for everyone to use. You just have to go to their website, go to Heroes, and select any hero that you want to know information about. Take, for example, if I want to look at Hela, because Hela is broken, I just want to see how much damage Hela actually do. How much does her left click actually do? Well, it does 70 damage, and it does critical hit. So that's something you should maybe know if you want to play against Hela the right way. But those are my quick little advanced tips that I think every player that's playing Marvel Rivals should know. Now this video was relatively short compared to my other ones, as I wanted to keep it quick and straight to the point. So if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it greatly helps me out. But anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.